Hello, my friends. Today we will talk about managing ethics and legal compliance. Chapter 5 delved into the concept of ethics as integral to organizational culture, raising questions about how real organizations establish and convey an ethical environment. This chapter focuses on ethics and legal compliance programs in various large American corporations, aiming to shed light on how these programs are structured and implemented. The chapter is beneficial for individuals at all organizational levels. High-level executives can gain insights on managing ethics and legal compliance within their firms, while middle or lower management can better understand their organization's ethical practices in comparison to industry standards. Students can also use this information to navigate their future job searches more effectively. The chapter draws on interviews with executives from diverse companies like Lockheed Martin, United Technologies, Merck & Co., Adelphia, Staples, and USA. These companies vary in size, industry, and global presence, showcasing the diverse approaches to ethics management. Managing ethics and legal compliance in these corporations pose significant challenges, especially with global operations. Each company tailors its approach based on industry regulations, organizational culture, and the importance of maintaining reputation and brand value. Integrity emerges as a crucial factor driving corporate decisions in such complex environments. Structuring ethics management. The Corporate Ethics Office is the main hub for managing ethics and compliance within an organization, structured as centralized, decentralized, or hybrid models based on business needs. It coordinates ethics initiatives and ensures regulatory adherence, exemplified by Lockheed Martin's dedicated ethics office reporting to senior leadership. The role of the ethics officer has become increasingly important since the 1991 U.S. federal sentencing guidelines, which encouraged formal ethics programs. Ethics officers oversee compliance standards and foster ethical practices, often reporting directly to high-level executives, including the CEO. They may belong to professional organizations like the Ethics and Compliance Officer Association (ECOA). Ethics officers can be insiders or outsiders. While insiders often have better cultural understanding, outsiders can provide fresh perspectives. They come from diverse backgrounds, with legal professionals being common, but varied experiences are also valued for broader ethical oversight. Organizations may centralize or decentralize their ethics infrastructure. Centralized offices allow for consistent communication and compliance, while decentralized structures can struggle with uniformity. Additionally, many companies establish a corporate ethics committee made up of senior management to oversee ethical matters and reinforce leadership commitment to ethical standards. Businesses are increasingly investing resources into formal ethics and legal compliance programs due to various factors. These include media coverage of scandals in American business, the influence of the U.S. sentencing guidelines, and the encouragement of formal ethics management systems at conferences such as those organized by the Conference Board. The U.S. sentencing guidelines, introduced in the early 1990s, significantly impacted corporate ethics programs in the United States. These guidelines shifted the focus from individual defendants to corporations, leading to increased fines for both individuals and organizations convicted of felony crimes. The guidelines emphasize the importance of managing legal compliance proactively within organizations to avoid severe penalties, including substantial fines and even a corporate death penalty. Companies are urged to develop robust internal control systems to detect and manage illegal behavior, with the guidelines outlining specific requirements for due diligence and effective compliance programs. Organizations are expected to establish and communicate compliance standards, implement monitoring and reporting systems, and ensure accountability. The role of ethics and compliance officers has evolved over time, with the establishment of professional organizations like the Ethics and Compliance Officer Association (ECOA). These officers play a vital role in overseeing legal compliance standards and ensuring ethical behavior throughout the organization. The officers may be insiders or outsiders, each bringing unique perspectives to the role. Centralized ethics offices have become common in large organizations to coordinate ethics and compliance activities, ensure consistency, and communicate key values. The ethics officer's direct reporting relationship to the CEO is seen as crucial for maintaining the integrity of the ethics function and integrating ethics into the organizational culture effectively. Corporate ethics committees, comprising senior-level managers from various functional areas, provide ethical oversight and policy guidance for executive decisions. These committees demonstrate top management's commitment to ethics and play a strategic role in overseeing ethics and business conduct operations within the organization. Okay, now the question is how we are communicating ethics. Within the ethics infrastructure, effective communication requires alignment between formal and informal systems to build organizational credibility. The formal system includes written policies, websites, and official communications, while the informal grapevine carries employee perceptions about organizational reality. Research shows 70 to 90% of grapevine information is accurate, making it a powerful credibility indicator. When formal policies contradict actual practices, organizations lose credibility, but when policies are consistently enforced, both systems align and trust increases. Organizations must analyze their audience, understanding 3 employee types: good soldiers, who need support to resist pressure; loose cannons, who need education about policies and standards; and grenades, who need clear consequences for violations. Before designing communication programs, organizations must evaluate industry-specific ethical dilemmas, knowledge gaps among employee groups, current policy communication methods, and existing formal and informal communication channels. Successful ethics communication requires multiple reinforcement channels, including websites, recruiting materials, orientation programs, newsletters, and interactive approaches like USAA's mini case studies and Texas Instruments' instant experience system. Formal documents such as mission statements, organizational policies, and codes of conduct must authentically reflect company culture and be actively referenced in decision-making. Senior management commitment proves essential, with effective leaders setting high standards, acting consistently on violations, maintaining wide employee contact, and funding ethics initiatives adequately. Recognition programs like Lockheed Martin's Chairman's Award create powerful cultural reinforcement by celebrating exemplary ethical behavior. Comprehensive training programs must address different employee groups with appropriate content, involve local management to address real workplace dilemmas, and create dialogue rather than one-way communication. Innovative methods such as facilitated dialogue, World Cafe conversations, and ethics games transform abstract concepts into practical decision-making skills while building organizational dialogue that makes ethics discussion a normal part of company culture. Know your audience. This framework categorizes employees into 3 types based on their ethical orientation and rule knowledge to enable targeted management approaches. Good soldiers possess strong moral compasses and know organizational rules but need encouragement and reinforcement to resist pressure to compromise their values. Loose cannons have good ethical foundations but lack knowledge of rules and policies, requiring comprehensive training and heightened supervision to channel their good intentions appropriately. Grenades lack moral compasses and pursue personal agendas regardless of rules, necessitating clear senior management examples and swift, consistent discipline. This classification system allows organizations to develop customized communication strategies, training programs, and management techniques rather than using one-size-fits-all approaches. By understanding these distinct audiences, leaders can more effectively build ethical organizational cultures while addressing the specific needs and challenges of each group. The framework emphasizes that successful ethics programs must be tailored to the diverse ethical orientations and knowledge levels present in any workplace, with good soldiers needing support, loose cannons requiring education, and grenades demanding clear consequences for violations. The reward system is crucial for fostering an ethical culture, as highlighted by practices at companies like Lockheed Martin, Staples, and Otis Elevator Company. At Lockheed Martin, the performance management process evaluates employees not only on results, but also on their adherence to ethical attributes such as integrity and teamwork. Each attribute is clearly defined, with managers required to provide specific examples and base salary recommendations on these ethical considerations. Staples dedicates 40% of performance appraisals to how tasks are accomplished, promoting ethical behavior alongside achieving results. Stephen Page, former president of Otis, emphasized the company's commitment to high ethical standards, stating that breaches of integrity are taken seriously. He communicated that unethical behavior would not be tolerated and highlighted the importance of training and resources to guide employees in ethical decision-making. Otis prioritizes its reputation for ethics, even stating a preference to lose business rather than compromise its standards. These examples illustrate the importance of integrating ethical behavior into performance evaluations and the willingness to enforce standards through disciplinary actions when necessary. Corporate ethics initiatives can be categorized as either values-based or compliance-based. Values approach. This proactive method focuses on aspirational behavior and high ethical standards. It emphasizes leader communication and role modeling to instill a culture of ethics. Employees are encouraged to view ethics as a source of pride, believing that integrity is paramount. However, when violations occur, employees expect appropriate sanctions. Compliance approach. This method centers on adhering to laws and regulations, emphasizing required behaviors and disciplinary actions for violations. Organizations often adopt this approach in response to regulations like the U.S. Sentencing Guidelines and Sarbanes-Oxley. However, a strict compliance focus can lead employees to assume that any behavior is acceptable as long as it isn't explicitly prohibited, fostering cynicism and distrust. An effective ethics program should integrate both approaches. Values must be translated into clear rules, with consistent enforcement to maintain fairness. Conversely, compliance programs without a strong values foundation may be perceived as punitive and self-serving. For instance, at Merck, the development of its formal ethics program was rooted in its existing values-based culture. The company successfully rolled out its ethics code in 1999 as an extension of its established practices, emphasizing employee participation and buy-in through focus groups and surveys. This approach exemplifies how values can be effectively integrated into corporate ethics initiatives.
Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, please like and subscribe to channel.